ServSafe Manager 7th edition revised exam question. A. When leaving the food preparation area, how should work clothes be handled after use? A. Reuse the same uniform for multiple shifts. B. Wash them frequently in hot water. C. Store them with personal belongings. D. Wear them outside of work to save time. When is a foodborne illness outbreak considered an outbreak? 2 or more people have the same symptoms after eating the same food. Caitlin started a batch of French fries in the fryer. While they were cooking, she took 2 orders at the cash register. As soon as the fries were done, she salted and packaged them. Then she washed her hands and packed the customer's order. Did she wash her hands at the right time? No. What do state and local regulatory authorities do? Write or adopt codes that regulate retail and food service operations. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Green beans dressed with olive oil and garlic. No. Bacteria needs 6 conditions to grow. To remember those conditions, think to the abbreviation underscore 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 dash underscore 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 underscore. Fat Tom. How can you prevent food from being contaminated by physical contaminants? Purchase food from approved reputable suppliers, inspect the food you receive, and practice good hygiene. What food is linked with hepatitis A and norovirus? Ready-to-eat food and shellfish from contaminated water. When to use single-use gloves. 1. Slicing apples for an apple pie. 2. Garnishing a plate with chopped herbs. 3. Chopping lettuce for a mixed green salad. 4. Breading chicken wings before frying them. 5. Assembling a cooked hamburger for presentation. 2, 3, and 5. Which is a TCS food? Sprouts. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Melon slices wrapped with prosciutto. No. C. Non-slip, closed-toe shoes. Where can staff eat, drink, chew gum, or use tobacco products to minimize contamination? A. In food preparation areas. B. In designated break rooms or staff dining areas. C. Near storage areas for utensils and equipment. D. At the dishwashing station. What are biological contaminants? Viruses, parasites, fungi, and bacteria. True or false? Change your gloves after handling raw meat and before handling ready-to-eat food. True. How can the deliberate contamination of food be prevented? To make it as difficult as possible to tamper with it. What are the most common symptoms of a foodborne illness? Diarrhea, vomiting, fever, nausea, abdominal cramps, and jaundice. What are the most common food allergens? Milk and dairy products, eggs and egg products, fish and shellfish, wheat, soy and soy products, peanuts and tree nuts, and sesame. How should staff wash and care for their hands? 1. Wet hands and arms. 2. Apply soap. 3. Scrub hands and arms vigorously for 10 to 15 seconds. 4. Rinse hands and arms thoroughly. 5. Dry hands and arms. True or false? Use hand antiseptics before putting on gloves. False. What are the symptoms of foodborne illness? Diarrhea, vomiting, fever, nausea, abdominal cramps, and jaundice. Which of the following is an example of a TCS food? A. Crackers. B. Sliced melon. C. Dried pasta. D. Uncooked rice. B. Sliced melons. True or false? Blow into gloves when putting them on. False. What food is linked with Shiga toxin producing Escherichia coli? Ground beef, raw or undercooked contaminated produce. Ryan was bussing tables when his manager asked him to take out the garbage. When he came back, he used the restroom and washed his hands, then he set up some tables. Did Ryan wash her hands at the correct time? Yes. What does the CDC and PHS conduct? Research into the causes of foodborne illness outbreaks. Who am I? Ozus. Many farms animals carry me naturally. I have been found in milk and dairy products, produce, and poultry. Cooking eggs to minimum internal temperature can prevent me. Preventing cross-contaminated between poultry and ready-to-eat food can stop me. Non-typhoidal salmonella. What are the big six? Shigella spp, Salmonella typhi, non-typhoidal salmonella, E. coli, hepatitis A, norovirus. What is the correct response to a foodborne illness outbreak? 1. Gather ____________________________________________________________________________________________________________________ 3. Product 4. Documenting information 5. Identify 6. With 7. Review ______________________________________________________________________________________________________________________ Employees coordinating, authorities procedures, restrict. Execute or restrict? Bill. A line cook in a restaurant has a sore throat with a fever. Raw, unwashed vegetables are considered TCS foods. True or false? A. FDAB, USDAC, CDC and PHSD, state and local regulatory authorities. 1. Writes the codes that regulate retail and food service operations. 2. Conducts research into the causes of foodborne illness outbreaks. 3. Inspects meats, poultry, and eggs. 4. Writes the food code. 5. Inspects retail and food service operations. DCBAD. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Squash sautéed in duck fat. No. Who am I? I am commonly linked with ready-to-eat food. I am found in the feces of infected people. Excluding staff with jaundice can stop me. Handwashing can prevent me. Hepatitis A. Gabe, a restaurant manager, noticed that prep cooks were washing their hands in the prep sink. Gabe immediately spoke to the employees about designated hand sinks and appropriate versus inappropriate locations for washing hands. Was the procedure correctly followed? Yes. What is ready-to-eat food? Food that can be eaten without further preparation, washing, or cooking. Linda prepped raw chicken for the day's special. Then she washed her hands and sliced melons. After that, she washed her hands again and then cleaned and sanitized the cutting boards. Did Linda wash her hands at the correct time? Yes. B. In designated break rooms or staff dining areas. What is the best way to prevent staff who may be carrying pathogens from working with or around food, or in the operation? B. Provide gloves for all employees, regardless of symptoms. A. Allow staff to work if they feel slightly better. C. Take temperatures, have staff notify you if they are sick, feel sick or live with someone who is currently sick. Take corrective measures. D. Have employees wear masks to prevent contamination. How can you prevent exposure to food allergens? Utilize food labels, inform guests, avoid cross-contact, and clean and sanitize. True or false, wash your hands after putting on gloves. False. B. To prevent hair from falling into food. When should you remove your work uniform or apron? A. When leaving the food preparation area. B. Only at the end of the shift. C. When meeting a customer. D. Never, it should stay on at all times. What does the FDA inspect? All food except meat, poultry, and eggs. They regulate all food transported across state lines. What are the 5 common risk factors for foodborne illness? 1. Purchasing food from unsafe sources. 2. Failing to cook food correctly. 3. Holding food at incorrect temperatures. 4. Using contaminated equipment. 5. Practicing poor personal hygiene. What does the FDA issue? Food Code. FATOM stands for F equals food, A equals acidity, T equals temperature, T equals time, O equals oxygen, M equals moisture. Exclude. Excelcute or restrict? Louisa, a bussier, has a runny nose. How does most contamination of food happen? When people cause the contamination. True or false, use the correct glove size. True. Which populations have a higher risk for foodborne illness? Elderly people, preschool-age children, and people with compromised immune system. Cooked meat, poultry, and fish are TCS foods. True. Which of the following is not considered a TCS food? A. Milk. B. Cooked rice. C. Whole apples. D. Baked potatoes. C. Whole apples. Which of these needs time and temperature control to keep it safe? 1. Chopped lettuce. 2. Sliced watermelon. 3. Dry rice. 4. Flour. 5. Cooked carrot. 6. Cheese. 1, 2, 5, and 6. Parasites are commonly linked with what type of food? Seafood. What is TCS food? Food requiring time and temperature control to limit growth of pathogens. True or false, wash out gloves when they become dirty. False. Restrict. Excelcute or restrict? Mary, a sous chef, has been diagnosed with norovirus. What is the most important way to prevent a foodborne illness from bacteria? Control time and temperature. A prep cook stores a bottle of sanitizer on a shelf above a prep table. To prevent chemical contamination, what should be done differently? Store it away from the prep area. Take temperatures, have staff notify you if they are sick, feel sick, or live with someone who is currently sick. Take corrective measures. Excelcute or restrict? Joe, a prep cook, has diarrhea. What are hand antiseptics? Liquids or gels hand sanitizers. What food is linked with Shigella spp? Food that has made contact with contaminated water and contaminated hands. What is an important measure for preventing foodborne illness? Preventing cross-contamination. True or false, check gloves for rips or tears after putting them on. True. Who am I? I am carried in the bloodstream and intestinal tract of humans. I am commonly linked with beverages and ready-to-eat food. Cooking food correctly can prevent me. Washing hands can stop me. Salmonella typhi. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Potatoes sautéed in duck fat. No. True or false? Change your gloves when they become dirty or torn. True. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Multigrain bread made with wheat. Yes, the wheat. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Vegetable omelette topped with tomato sauce. Yes, the egg. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Mushrooms seasoned with soy sauce and brown sugar. Yes, the soy. What is the correct way to dress for work and handle work clothes? Which of the following is the correct way to dress for work in food service? A. Wear freshly washed clothing. B. Use hair restraints such as hairnets or cap. C. Avoid wearing jewelry except for a plain band ring. D. All of the above. Exclude. After which activity must food handlers wash their hands? What steps should be taken if a manager suspects a foodborne illness outbreak? D. Set aside the suspected product and label it with "Do not use" and "Do not discard." What food is linked with Salmonella typhi? Ready-to-eat food beverages. What are physical contaminants? Foreign objects such as metal shavings, staples, bandages, glass, dirt, and fish bones that can get into food. Maria was making meatballs when she took a call on her mobile phone. Her manager was nearby, so she quickly got back to work. Afterward, she wiped DPWN her phone and washed her hands. Did Maria wash her hands at the correct time? No. What are chemical contaminants? Cleaners, sanitizers, polishes. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Banana shake made with vanilla ice cream. Yes, the milk. What should food handlers do to prevent food allergens from being transferred to food? Use clean and sanitized utensils when prepping the order. What is the most important way to prevent a foodborne illness from viruses? Practice good personal hygiene. What is the 3 ways foodborne illnesses occur? Biological, chemical, and physical. B. Wash them frequently in hot water. Which of the following footwear is appropriate for food service work? A. Open-toe sandals. B. High heel. C. Non-slip, closed-toe shoes. D. Flip-flops. Michael plated an order and leafed through the paper tickets to make sure he had it right. Before touching each ticket, he licked his fingers to get a better grip. Fortunately, he realized his mistake. He quickly applied Jand antiseptic and then ran the order to the table. Was the procedure correctly followed? No. How can you prevent food from being contaminated by chemical contaminants? Use approved chemical in a food service operation, store chemicals away from prep areas, and use chemicals for intended use. When must food handlers wash their hands? A. Before starting work. B. After handling raw meat. C. After using the restroom. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. True or false? Wash your hands before putting on gloves. True. What food is linked with non-typhoidal salmonella? Poultry and eggs, meat, milk and dairy products, produce, tomatoes, peppers, etc. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Tuna salad wrapped in a lettuce leaf. Yes, the tuna. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Mixed green salad topped with almond pieces. Yes, almonds, tree nuts. How can food handlers avoid behaviors that can contaminate food? A good personal hygiene program. True or false, change your gloves after 4 hours of continuous use. True. A guest had a reversal of hot and cold sensations after eating seafood. What most likely caused the illness? Biological toxins. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Raw oysters on the half shell. Yes, the oysters. What is a foodborne illness? A disease transmitted to people by food. D. All of the above. What is the purpose of using a hair restraint while working? A. To keep hair neat and stylish. B. To prevent hair from falling into food. C. To keep your head warm. D. To cover up messy hair. Cheese, eggs, and tofu are examples of TCS foods. True or false? True. To prevent the deliberate contamination of food, a manager should know who is in the facility, monitor the security of products, keep information related to food security on file, and know whom to contact about suspicious activity. What does the USDA regulate and inspect? Meat, poultry, eggs. A. Control time and temperature. B. Practice correct personal hygiene. C. Purchase from approved, reputable suppliers. 1. Bacteria. 2. Viruses. 3. Parasites. 4. Fungi. 5. Plant toxin. 6. Mushroom toxin. 7. Seafood toxins. 1. A2, B3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C. Does this food contain one of the 9 most common food allergens? Chocolate candy filled with peanut butter cream. Yes, the peanuts. How can you prevent food from being contaminated by biological contaminants? Control time and temperature, practice good hygiene, purchase food from approved suppliers.